Hey, folks, this is Big Chad from the Action Report. We've got another treat for you. Live in color, Buddy Hall. Buddy, how are you?
I'm doing great. If I was doing any better, I'd have to be twins.
What do you think of this whole deal that's going on at Shooters now, this 10-ball extravaganza? Dan Told looks like he come up with a great idea to mix new with old and everything. I mean, you've got legends and you've got rookies and everybody in between. What do you think of it?
Well, I think that we're doing a really big thing here. It could be a giant step. We've never done this type of a format before. We've had ring games, even at pool tournaments, but we've never had a ring game pool tournament. And we're going to have ring games on 4 or 5 different tables at one time, and then they're going to melt down till we get one final ring game, and then the 2 people out of that one final ring game are going to play a heads-up match. I think it's race to 21, tournament rules for the championship. It sounds like a great format. I know it's created a lot of interest all across the United States. I've had a lot of calls about it. I've had people ask me the same question that you've asked me here. What do I think about it? Well, I think it has the potential to be great.
Good. We've had, like you said, we've had people in. Gentleman come up earlier who flew in from Florida for this to watch us, and then not only not play, but to watch. That's what kind of interest this is generating. There's a gentleman from Washington State here that flew in. I think the spectators are going to be between like 200 to 500 spectators here this weekend, all to watch everybody going. Now this is a little different because this is on a bar table. What that dimension of the game comes versus a big table? The bar table side of it bringing versus a big table.
Well, the big table. The ring game on the big table is a little different because here, the ring games on the big table will always break from the D. Well, here we can break from anywhere at the head string, and the break is not as, it's still crucial, but not near as crucial as it would be on a big table. The big table is. If you don't make a ball on the break, well, a lot of people don't make a ball on the break, but here everybody makes a ball on the break. 10 balls is a little harder to make balls on the break, but it's a game where everybody's almost equal. And there are certain guys that play great on the bar table, and some people play just under great, and it's just going to be a fantastic tournament.
I think, and I'm not, for all of them that don't know that are watching, this isn't a tournament where you can, if you get hooked, you pick out your jump stick and you fly it, you shoot at it. This tournament, there's no jump sticks, there's no safeties. So what that means is if the incoming player breaks the balls, does not successfully pocket a ball, you being the incoming player, have to shoot from wherever it lands. And if you can't see it, you basically got to hope to hit it. And there is no method for hope to hit, is there, buddy?
No. You have to hit it, or this is one of the rules that I really like, and I'm really favorable to this rule. Is we're playing the ring game format, but now if say my opponent or one of the guys makes balls on the break and scratches, well, these balls go to the spot. They don't rake them down like they do with the Texas Express rules. They go to the spot. And the incoming player has cue ball in hand behind the head string. It's not anywhere on the table. Now, here's the kicker with that. He has the option, the incoming player has the option to either take that shot or give it back to the guy that just broke the balls. And now you have the incoming player always has the option coming in on a foul. Yeah.
So basically what that means is that if he fouls and leaves himself a bad leave again, and you have the option, you could make him shoot twice till you like the leave.
I can make him shoot as long as he fouls. As long as he fouls and I don't like the shot, I can make him shoot again.
Then when he does make a successful hit, wherever the cue ball lands, you have to deal with it.
I have to deal with that. Right.
That's an unbelievable concept to the people that we've never seen anything like that on TV or televised, and we're hoping to put some stuff out there for y'all to see. But what do you think of the field that we've assembled here? We're still 24 hours from post time, and there's some world champions past and present in this field.
Well, we definitely have an international flavor. We have Koreans, we have Filipinos, we have Americans, we have Canadians. So it has an international flavor. or not international, it has a worldwide flavor. It's we're just it looks like it has everything to make a tournament successful. It has all the places, all the pieces of the puzzle seem to be in place for just a great tournament.
Absolutely, absolutely. And another thing, this is something that Dan Toll just threw together, and it turns out to be that it's taken on a lot of interest from everywhere. Do you think there's potential here to see more of these events take off? I mean, to get the pool from the big table down to the bar table, and more of these bar table events to go off around the country?
I sure hope so. I think there's a lot of room for this. And there are a lot of rooms already. There are people here that own rooms that I know that came specifically to watch the tournament itself, to find out how it goes, because they're considering if this is a good venue, then they want to put it in their places. They want to try it themselves.
And as we all know, you have to start from scratch, as you can tell by the action report. We started from scratch, and it's been like 6 weeks now, and you can tell if you really work hard and get to it, you can be places you need to be, and that's what Dan Toll has done so well. He started from scratch, and it's just blown up into something which hopefully will be great. Now, there's a lot of people around here, buddy, that I see you sharing a lot of laughs with. Are you running into some of your old friends and road buddies that you telling stories? My personal favorite was the gentleman that come up and said, "Buddy, do you remember this shot for the cash?" And he said it had to be 25 years ago, showed you the shot. And then you said, "I can tell you who I played."
Oh, yeah. I have a lot of it seems like that years ago, I could even remember scores of matches that I played. But here lately, I don't remember them as well as I did then. You know, maybe they don't have the same charisma to me. But anyway, you're talking about venues and things like that. I'd like to take a minute here to mention something that I've got in the works.
Feel free, by all means.
Okay, I am trying to put together right now a bank pool tournament. And what I'd like to do, people that are interested in maybe becoming a part of this, to get in touch with me, or Dan or somebody, to get in touch with us, to let us know your views on this, and if there's some way of maybe putting you in the mix in the sponsorship role or something like that, because I'm looking for a little help on this. We're going to do it. We don't know exactly how we're going to do it, but I'm looking for Q sponsors, and I'm looking for one major cash sponsor. I think it would take about 50,000 cash, and all the product sponsor that I could get, and everybody would get plenty of publicity out of this little venture here. I would make sure that your names are presented properly, and your help would be appreciated. And I think we have a very good venue in mind for this, and it's going to be bank pool. We've had all kinds of tours before, but there's never been a bank pool tour. I've never seen a bank pool tournament that didn't fill up, and I really honestly believe with all my heart that this is going to be a good one, and I seem to be getting a lot of response on this. So if you want to get in on the bottom floor, I would suggest you go ahead and get in touch with me, and I'll be happy to give you my phone number, which is 618-524-9026. That's in Metropolis, Illinois. So give me a call if you're interested in this, and I'll give you a little more detail on it. And I just thought I would mention that. Thanks for listening to that.
And I hope everybody out there pays special attention. It's not very often you can get behind a legend and a legend idea in a tour. And if you have trouble with your numbers or anything, you can also give us a holler on an email at the Action Report, and we will forward every information, all the information we get from anybody who wants to get involved. We'll get to Buddy, I guarantee that, because we want to do anything we can to help. Now, getting back to the story, let's talk about some of these stories that everybody wants to hear. They want to hear Buddy tell stories. Let's hear some stories from Buddy.
Well, I've got a couple stories. Sometimes they say, "Oh, I want to hear a hard luck story," or I want to hear a funny story, and actually some of the funny stories are hard luck stories. You know, we had this one particular guy. He felt like that he was the unluckiest person in the world, and he was getting ready to shoot at the 9 ball. He says, the 9 ball straight in. He's about 7 or 8 inches from the 9 ball straight in the corner. It's 7 or 8 inches from him. This is for all the cheese. You know, he's finally going to win. He said, well, I wonder what could happen from here. You know, this guy's name was, his first name was Unlucky, you know. So naturally, the worst thing that could possibly happen happened. He got hit by a car. This is a true story, so help me. The guy was getting ready to shoot at the 9, and there was a man riding down the street that had broke up with his wife, and he decided he was going to kill himself. So he picked that building to commit suicide, and he ran into the side of the building, and there was a phone booth sitting there at the side, inside the building. The phone booth caved in on the guy shooting at the 9. It broke his leg. He never got to shoot at the 9.
Oh wow! Now, what part of the country was that in?
Oh, that was in the South. It was in the South. But that's a funny story. And there's another story as far as hard luck stories go. This one guy, his name was actually, it called him Bad Luck Jim, right? That was his nickname, Bad Luck Jim. Of course, he named himself that. But anyway, he was playing straight pool, and he was a very good straight pool player. Well, he decided that he was finally, well, he didn't decide anything. He was finally going to win a straight pool tournament. He needed one ball. He had just shot the break shot in, scattered the balls that were all over the table, and he had a ball straight in the side. He was about 8 inches from it. The cue ball was about 8 inches from it, and it was about 8 inches from the side. One of those shots that you just couldn't miss, and that was the only ball he needed. So he got down to shoot this ball, and there was a power surge. The lights went out, right, for like 1001, 1002, and then they came back on. Well, guy, he straightened up. He thought about it for a second. Wow. He got back down and he shot. Well, the ball that he shot at jumped straight to the right. Boom. Didn't even come close to the hole. And what happened was, during that 1001, 1002, a hard-shelled katybug. You know what those are?
A beetle, I believe?
A little bug with black dots on it, hard-shell bug, landed behind that ball while the lights were off 1001, 1002. Now, that's hard luck.
So the bug got behind the ball and knocked it right out of the track. Oh, that's terrible. That's brutal. You got to wonder what oh, wow. Wow, what any of them that involve you? Let's hear a story about Buddy out there where you just stopped and said, I can't believe I did this or heard this.
Well, there's a lot of Buddy stories. Well, let's see. What would be a good story for me? It's hard to toot your own whistle. I've had some good stories. I've had some good times, some sad times, and one of my favorite stories was I've always been known for. One of my nicknames was Slow Death. I was a real deliberate player, especially in my heyday. I'd really take my time and focus and really concentrate. Well, we were playing in a pro tournament in Richmond, Virginia. So we were playing in this tournament, and this guy, I won my first match. I won it 9-0. Now my second match, I won it 9-0. Well, this guy come running up to me and he says, Buddy, guess what? Tomorrow, you and I get to play. I get to play you tomorrow. I'm looking so forward to that match. I said, well, okay, good. So now we start playing. The next day, we start playing. I have him 5-0. He said, Buddy, he says, I've really been looking forward to playing this match. He said, that's all I could think about all night last night. He said, really wanting to play this match. He said, but now that we're playing it, it's not near as much fun as I thought it would be.
Well, down 5-0 against a legend, I can't imagine. Now here's a story for you that there's always been some talk about when you played back in your heyday when you were running around and Efrain come to town. You and Efrain supposedly matched up, and there's a lot of everybody's got an opinion, but what's actually happening there? Let's hear it from Buddy.
If there had been a fight, they'd have stopped it. We played. Efrain and I played. He played. This was 1985. at Red's Billiards in Houston, Texas. Everybody that had played Efrain had beaten. Well, he asked me to play. And I agreed to play him. We played 10 ahead, and I beat him a 10 ahead set. It's plain and simple. I beat him a 10 ahead set and for money. And we never played for money again after that. But we played a lot of tournament pool, and I was very successful against Efrain the first 2 or 3 years that he was over here. Now, as I've gotten older and he's gotten younger and all that stuff, no, he's getting older too. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not talking about Efrain. I think he's one of the finest people I ever met. Great player, but at one time I was probably one of his nemesis.
I can believe that you're everybody's nemesis and step to the box. Now, when you that's something that you when you say one of the greatest players, who in Buddy's eyes do you believe? I mean, you've had a chance to see everybody. Who do you believe, just flat out, is the best player in your mind, or is there a player that you believe is the best player that ever lived?
The best 9-ball player I have ever seen play is Wimpy Lassiter. The best one-pocket player that I've ever seen might be Efrain. The best.
How about bank pool? Let's consider your tournament. How about bank pool?
Bank pool, Eddie Taylor. Eddie Taylor's the best bank pool player I've ever seen. Snooker, maybe Albert Bonifay, New York Blackie, was the best snooker player. I'm talking about guys that got out there and done it for the money and stuff like that. Now, there are people that say that that Lingo would have beaten Efrain playing one pocket. Well, I never saw Lingo play. But a lot of people that have seen him play, Squirrel, Marshall Carpenter, one of the great players from yesteryear, he said that that Lingo Hayden would have beaten Efrain playing one pocket.
That's terribly, terribly strong. Anybody that can put in the same competition with Efrain, because you watch him play in the Derby every year, and it seems like it's almost to the point where it's effortless of him, the way he goes through that field. And on the finals, some of the stuff he did to Jason Miller like a year ago, that bad, and pulling shave. It's just amazing. He's an amazing player, and in all rights, he's probably one of the best pool players I've ever seen.
Well, it's a pretty strong stat that you win. He's won every one-pocket tournament he's played in at the Derby City.
That's there you go, folks. It doesn't get in one pocket. That's the way it is.
I won a one-pocket tournament at the Derby City, but Efrain that year didn't come and play. He didn't play that year.
Showing you some respect.
No, he just didn't show up that year. We played in a lot of one-pocket tournaments, and Efrain's a fantastic player. The things that he does for people in his own country and stuff are really admirable stuff. I mean, you're liable. These are some of the stories that I've heard. You might see Efrain come into an ice cream store in the Philippines and have 30 kids with him. They're all his cousins. Every one of them are his cousins. He buys them ice cream, stuff like that, and he gets all his relatives new vehicles and stuff like. I mean, he takes care of people that. Not just his family, but kids and stuff like that. Efrain is a very good person.
Says a lot about him when he takes, to do that stuff for his family and stuff, and other roots and values. I think that could translate well into if we had some of that stuff in here in our pool world. And I think the future of pool is looking really much brighter. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of people trying to make it happen. Greg Sullivan from Diamond Tables, he flew in. Like you say, the room owners, they all come. They're all looking to see how this goes because it's something new and it's something exciting. And I'm excited about it. And I'm excited to have you here. And you're a sentimental favorite in this tournament. I can tell you that right now. You will read that internet, and everybody out there is pulling for Buddy. And nobody's got to like you in this tournament. I'll guarantee you that. What do you think?
Well, I've got a lot of fans here. A person you mentioned there, Greg Sullivan. See, people don't realize that Greg actually designed. See, the diamond table, the table that he produces right now, was actually designed by the players. And Greg produced that table, and he's had an event in Louisville, Kentucky, called the Derby City. It's his name. He gives it kind of the Kentucky Derby flavor, But it's the Derby City Classic, and he has so many different events that are happening there in that 9 days that you can't even imagine unless you're there. He has grown to it's just such a huge, huge, huge tournament. Every event that he has in the pro ranks, over 400 people show up. And this is every year at the Derby City Classic. So if you've never seen real pool, go to the Derby City Classic. You'll see bank pool, 9-ball, 1-pocket, 3-cushion billiards, straight pool. You'll see 9-ball on the bar tables, 8-ball. You'll see about every kind of game that is played today.
And any kind of action you want to see that's played today. Some that are on pool tables, some that aren't. They're flipping quarters. They're doing anything they can bet on, they bet on. And it's a wonderful. And that tournament, that event is, I believe, the first weekend of January and lasts through the 2nd. And I tell you, folks, last year I was down there, and it's exactly what Buddy says. It takes you a day or two to get all of it and take it all in because it's that big of an event. What are some of the things that Buddy's looking forward to besides the bank pool tour? What are some of the things you're looking forward to in the near future?
Well, I'm really going to work hard on the bank pool tour. I'm going to start laying those things out and approaching people and trying to put those together. I'm going to go to room owners. I'm going to start in the rooms. I'll probably have our finals tournament in Metropolis, Illinois, my hometown. The final tournament of the year, of whichever year it starts. We may not start this year, but if we don't get a tournament in this year, we will start early next year. But we're going to do our best to get started this year. And the final tournament of the year will be in my hometown, Metropolis, Illinois. And everybody comes. I'll be happy to take them on a tour of the area. We have a lot of things that people can see and do. And Metropolis is just a pretty nice little place to visit. If you're born and raised there, you take things for granted. But if you're not born and raised there, it's some very interesting stuff to see. We actually have a Harrah's Casino there. That would probably be the place that we would hold the finals, would be at the Harrah's Casino and Ballroom. We just have a lot of things to do. And I'd be happy to show as many of you around that want to be shown around. Just come see me.
I tell you what, and that if as far as a pool fan, you have to. I mean, you just have to meet the man in person. He's as good as he is in person. It's not very often you meet this many real people, and Buddy's number 1A, 1OK with us. And I tell you what, we're going to get to running now, Buddy, but I tell you what, we look forward to maybe running into you down the road here in about 3 or 4, 28, 29 hours watching you play pool.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we consider doing some of the matches for all your fans and stuff?
Oh, wonderful. Absolutely.
I'll be your color analyst, and you and I will work with some of the matches.
Absolutely, buddy. That's thanks, folks. Hello. You just witnessed the nuts.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And to all of you out there, stay tuned. We're going to bring you some more interviews, and I'm just going to sign off for now. Thanks, folks.